Hi guys, my name is Samantha and this is my reading report presentation. I'm going to be using resources from our class like the documentary we all watched together called Waiting for Superman, and also our book called The Smartest Kids in the World and How They Got That Way by Amanda Ripley. So before I go into my assigned chapter, I just want to say that this story is in 2008. This little girl is 12 years old. Her name is Kim, and she is from Sallisaw, Oklahoma. Alright, so in chapter 2 called Leaving, I noticed right away that Kim's town is not doing well financially, and it trickles down to their school, and you can immediately tell that Kim's bored by everything given to her, and it is notoriously known that the tests they take are easy. So that doesn't necessarily mean geniuses are being born in Sallisaw, but they're just getting really easy tests. And next, Kim read an article about rat experiments. She is just furious with hearing about how these animals are treated, and she immediately writes George W. Bush, the President of the United States during that time, and this puts her in the spotlight fast. She is on an article, she has a picture taken of her, and she is later invited to Oklahoma City to take the SAT. Her results came back, and she did 40% better than seniors who took the same test. And statistic-wise, nearly 1 in 4 students failed to graduate high school within the 4 years in Sallisaw High School. So this makes Kim feel really weird and different. She feels like she doesn't belong, and she really wants to go somewhere else, and she even quotes, "I'd like to go somewhere where people are curious." So she's just hungry for learning. And this hunger takes us to her discovering studying abroad. This freaks her mom out. Her mom immediately says no, she does not want her child to just leave across the country, but later sits on it and thinks, that can't be that bad. There could be worse things she wants to do. So she gives her 3 tasks. She wants Kim to raise $10,000 to go out of town. She wants Kim to file all the paperwork, and she also wants her to write a Finland report. And this report requires her to say why she wants to go to Finland, is she sure, and just what is Finland about? What is their education system about? Their country, anything to food, just everything. And Kim is a young girl who is not able to get a job yet, so she thinks quickly on her feet, and she sells items on eBay. She has bake sales. She also goes to the internet, and she starts posting her own story and telling people about her travels to Finland and how she wants to go there. So eventually, this story ends really sweet with her grandparents wanting to give her the rest of the money on top of a scholarship given to her, and she achieves that goal of $10,000 and is later reached out by her mother, her home mom in Finland, and just tells her to bring something warm. So we leave off in a really good state with that story, but in reality in America, we just have not achieved education equity. Kids are given unfair opportunities. They do not have resources, like, say, charter schools versus public schools versus private schools. Like we've learned, not the same, not at all. And we just want to equip all the students for success in and out of school. But that's kind of hard to achieve when money's an issue, and so is your neighborhood and just everything, even your family. But the National School Boards Association on Equity, I really like this little quote and statement they put out. It says, "Public schools should provide equitable access and ensure that all students have the knowledge and skills to succeed as contributing members of a rapidly changing global society, regardless of factors such as race, gender, sexual orientation, ethnic background, English proficiency, immigration status, and socioeconomic status or disability. And this brings us back to our documentary Waiting for Superman. I immediately think of Daisy. Daisy's parents were not financially ready to put her in a better school, but of course they want their daughter to achieve success, and she wanted to become a doctor. That's a lot of school and a lot of money for college. It's really messed up how just that can really crush a child's dream. But that brings me to my personal experience. And growing up in Lubbock, I come from a family of divorced parents. It eventually became a one-income household with me with my mom, and it was hard. She was always working. I was always home with my siblings, just doing homework by myself, or I had amazing teachers who had after-school programs that helped me just stay on top of my schoolwork and not be behind. I got really lucky. I also put myself in different programs over the years. I just wanted to make friends and just discover a little more outside of school in the classroom. Once I graduated from high school, though, I went to a community college, and I did find myself struggling and having to take remedial classes. Like in our Appendix 1, it was just saying how kids are put in college and are paying for basically high school education and not receiving college credit. So it really helped that I did meet the right teachers in college, and they wanted to help me succeed too. So I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. And this leads me to teachers, responsibility of teachers. One day I do want to be a teacher, and I have to be fully aware of the responsibilities put on us, and it's a lot, but I mean, it can be done. People have already shown that. And so teachers' responsibilities are to plan and prepare, deliver lesson plans. They have to monitor students. They have to use updated equipment. They manage student behavior in the classroom by enforcing rules and procedures. They have to accurately follow laws and district policies and school regulations, and they definitely have to provide appropriate feedback on work in order for the students to succeed. And this brings me to the students and their responsibilities. They have to attend class and be there regularly and complete all their homework given to them. They need to respect themselves and their classmates, and also just be prepared with necessary supplies such as glue, pencils, rulers, anything like that. And that leads us to the parents. Kids need their parents to provide like school supplies and stuff. They don't have jobs, and they also need to provide a good home that requires them to get the best sleep and eat nutritious meals. They also have to help their children with their assignments and just maintain good communication with the teachers in the classroom to see where their child's at. They need to provide constant support and encouragement, and it doesn't hurt to be a role model to your kid. So that's just some responsibilities, and it led me to research about teachers in Finland and what does it take to become a teacher in Finland. And I didn't know, but you're required to have a bachelor's and master's degree. During the time when you're a student at the university, you have to spend multiple years observing teachers and students and complete that coursework before you even go into the teaching requirements. So you have to do a written test, an interview, and do a 90-minute process, which evaluators observe how you think, how you communicate and interact with groups. It's pretty rigorous, and it makes me have reflection on myself. Would I make it? would I succeed? Would I be the 10% of applicants that don't pass? I don't know. Those are just some questions in my head, and it makes me immediately compare the U.S. and Finland. So with spending, it matters. America spends 80 times the amount Finland does on an average year, and we are not seeing enough achievement with our schools, but we're spending more. And versus Finland, they are spending less and achieving more. And they spend $7,500 per student, which America, we spend $8,500. So it's not all about money being thrown at the schools. It's about the teachers. It's about how everything is taught. And this goes to the teacher versus student ratio. In Finland, they have smaller classes with fewer students, which this helps them tremendously. It helps them give that little extra time and attention to those students who are struggling, and you don't want them to just slip through the cracks. And that's when America comes in, and they have 5 times the amount of students in their classrooms. And those poor kids, they do slip through the cracks and are behind, but still get passed. So that's another issue. And the takeaways from this, I think that parents and students, they need to work together outside the classroom to be more successful. It takes a whole team. It takes an army, honestly, and that brings in teacher involvement in and out of the classroom. From personal experience, I was helped a lot as a kid, and even now. And equity in the education system, we can be at the top if we make changes now, which I would love to do in the future. I would love to be a part of my students' lives after school, after hours, and I would help them with homework, any missing assignments, quizzes that they did bad on. I would just want to go over it again and again and again, just to help them succeed. But I want to leave off with the quote, "It's never too late to be who you might have been," which is from George Eliot, and I think that's beautiful. I think even parents who don't understand what it takes for their kid to be successful, they can still learn. Kids who aren't in college, they can still go back. But I just think there's inspiration in all of us, and I had a great time in class watching the documentary and reading about my chapter, and it was just really good. And these are my works. This is my works cited page as well. Thank you.